Welcome back, everybody. We are playing Hearts of Iron 4. This is going to be a Canadian playthrough. We are trying to be fascists, and my personal goal is that I would like to take over all of the Americas as Canada. I'm not sure how likely that actually is going to be. Venezuela generally goes fascist too, so that might stop me from getting that bit. But we'll try to do the best we can as Canada, which is going to be difficult, because Canada does not have many resources available to it, especially at the beginning. If you don't know what Hearts of Iron 4 is, it is a strategy game from Paradox, the company that made Europa Universalis, and so the map and a lot of the systems kind of work the same. It's a little bit different. But this is based off World War II instead of medieval Europe. So it has tanks and guns and Nazis and all that good stuff. I'm not saying Nazis are good, but World War II is kind of an interesting time. So it's kind of a cool time to play for this. Now you'll notice a few things right off the bat. I don't have a ton of troops. In fact, let's go ahead and group them all up. We're going to get rid of the cavalry because they're not really that helpful, and I need the personnel. I only have 14,000 recruitable people up front, so we're going to get rid of these and hopefully get a few more there. So that almost doubles us to 30,000, nearly 30,000. We are then going to come in here. And so the focus tree is basically a bunch of skills that your country can get. And each country has its own set of skills. And Canada actually has a lot to choose from, which is kind of interesting. I've previously only played as Germany, and theirs is pretty tight. They have really good ones, and they're pretty upfront. I feel like there's more here. So we're going to do Crown Corporation from the beginning. And what that's going to do is it's going to give us access. Actually, maybe I'm going to hold off on this. It gives us access to a guy the political advisor who increases construction speed, which we kind of need. And he's super cheap too. He only costs 50 political power. But I think I might actually go for this one instead, which gives us a political power bonus right away. And the reason is, I think from the beginning, we want to get our economy down to a free trade, because that'll make us construct everything faster so that we can get the country built up. And we really need that. If we come into the construction area, we're going to start out by building civilian factories, and you'll notice when I select one. Let's just put one here in southern Ontario. We only have 3 civilian factories that are building. That is a very small amount. Just to start with, in Germany, you have like 15. So I have a long ways to go. It's going to take a long time to build anything up. And we're just going to go ahead and throw St. Lawrence in there for backup so that if it does finish without me noticing, it'll get constructed. So we have a lot of... basically, a lot of the early play that we're going to be doing here in Canada is to make everything go a little bit faster. So we're gonna be building civilians faster. But if we go to the free economy right away, so what that does is it increases speed of everything, but we're going to take a hit on our trade goods, which are like oil and rubber and aluminum and iron. And up front, that's not going to be a huge deal. That'll become a bigger deal as we start building more troops. But early on, we don't really have the resources to build troops. So I think we need to get to the free economy as quick as possible. So let's go over to research. This is pretty standard. You want to get the construction speed. And this is pretty standard for almost everybody. Basic machine tools makes it so we produce guns faster. And over on engineering, we want to get the electronic mechanical engineering, which gives us a bonus to research time, which is great. So, if you look here, we have a couple of traits for our country. We are in the Great Depression, and I think that's a big reason why we're not seeing much in the way of production, because if you look at this, we get negative 30% factory output and dockyard output. And I think some of the focus tree items will narrow that down a little bit. So the other thing is we got a negative 30% on recruitable population. So that's why we only have 30,000 that we can recruit. These are pretty big penalties that we have right from the get-go. So what we're going to do, we're going to start by building convoys. We only have 100, so I want to get some built up. And we only have one naval dockyard to choose from, so cancel that. We're going to hide that because that's not going to be helpful for us going forward. We're going to build towed infantry, or towed artillery, because we're going to need a lot of those. And the last thing that we want up front is support equipment. There's nothing else. Well, the other thing we could do is we could get some naval bombers. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Instead, naval bombers take 2 aluminum, or I could have more tanks. Well, let's do naval I guess we'll do naval bombers for a little while. If we can get 100 and maybe 25, that'll be good. So we have insufficient resources. That's, again, because we need pretty much everything. We don't have a whole lot ourselves, except for aluminum. We seem to have a decent amount of aluminum. If you look back here, there's 8 aluminum there. And if you come down here, we have 14 aluminum, 12 iron, but a lot of this is getting siphoned out too. 4 aluminum there. So we have a decent amount of aluminum, 12 positive. Let's look at how this is getting extracted. So we produce 30 aluminum, and we export 15. And then we're using 3 in production. So basically, half of everything that we produce is getting exported right now. And I think if you look at the export focus, you'll see that that kind of matches up. It's 50%. And then once we go to free trade, we're gonna lose 80% of our resources. So we're only gonna do free trade in the beginning, and we're only going to do it as a way to speed up construction. Because if you look at the bonuses, you get a lot of bonuses. And then we're gonna either drop down to export focus, or maybe limited exports. I don't know if we're gonna be able to. It doesn't look like we might be able to. We have to be either democratic, at war, or lost 20% of our factories. Oh, or the ruling party is not democratic. Right now we are democratic. So I think if we go to, I don't know. We'll figure that out later. Things will change as we change. So we're going to speed up to full 5 here. That'll make things go by faster, but these early times are really slow. There's not a whole lot going on in the world. Everybody's just kind of sitting around having a good time. So this was the bonus in political power, which is great. And we're going to go directly into Pacific Railway, which is going to build our British Columbia. Yeah. So this definitely seems to be random to me, because the last time I started up, like, I started up quickly just to see what Canada was going to be like, and it really didn't have, it was something else. It was not British Columbia. I think Saskatchewan was the target, so I think those might be randomized for every game. And we're going to switch over to free trade. research slot, and we're going to take mechanical computing because that's going to give us even faster research time. So now if we go back to trade, we're going to be pretty much out of everything, and we only have 3 aluminum left. So yeah, we're losing a lot of our resources thanks to trade. I don't even know, like, I don't even think we get bonuses to how many factories we have if someone actually imports our goods, which is kind of lame. So this, we're going to give this guy a field marshal, because this is going to be my defensive force. So it's probably going to have more than the 24 units, and we're just going to have them bordering this because that's where our Canada is, or that's where our capital is. It is also where our Canada is, but when we put it there, we'll be able to defend against those American scums. So yeah, we are going strong. Oh, that reminds me. We want to start training one of these guys right away. We're gonna slow down here for a second. And I guess we're not gonna train anything else. We'll just start training tanks. So let's go here. That started our railway, and we'll do the Maritime Colonial Railway, which will get us Southern Ontario 2 infrastructure bonus. Actually, let's do the Crown Corporations at this point. I think that'll be more worthwhile. So, the reason I want infrastructure... Okay, Italy took Ethiopia. The reason I want infrastructure is that'll speed up construction. So this is 70%, so it'll go... So the base is 0%, so it goes 70% faster in this country to build things. In this country, it's only 60%. So if by doing that, this raised from 50% to 70%, which gives us a lot more to work with when we're adding things. Now, there's only 4 open slots here, but that will grow over time. So we're okay with that. Ooh. And we're going to do Disbursed Industry. And I want to... There's 2 choices. We could either do Concentrated Industry or Dispersed. I think Concentrated Industry is better if you're not planning to grow at all or really go to war with anybody. But this gives you so many different bonuses, and really all you get is a 5% penalty to the factory output. You get the same dockyard output and the same max factories, but then you get all of these other bonuses for production efficiency and conversion speed bonus and factory bomb vulnerability. So this, I just don't think that it's worth doing this one, even for that 5% bonus, which is pretty nice. So we now have 150 political power. That comes up in time just naturally. We get 1 point per day. And we're going to take the silent workhorse, who's going to give us even more political power. That'll make the political power come faster, and you'll see we're at 1.3 per day now, which is great. More research. What do we want to research now? I think we're going to start with tanks, because we're still kind of early in on building our light tanks, so the earlier we can get updated on tanks, the better. Speed up. So Ethiopia is now under Italy's control, and Italy starts with a war against Ethiopia, so they can't avoid that. That is something that is historically accurate, but from now on we'll probably see a lot of differences with how history ran. This one is not one. So Germany remilitarized the Rhineland. Leadership purges in Soviet Union. That's interesting. Crown Corporation. Okay, so that'll give us our little guy, and that actually worked out perfectly. We have 50 political power to buy the new guy that Crown Corporation gives us. And we're going to do the Maritime Colonial Railway right away after that. Oh! Ah, well. We shouldn't have done that. There was something else that was better for us to do. Oh, well. So let's go ahead and buy C.D. Howe, Captain of Industry. He gives us speed bonuses to everything, basically. He's great for early game. It's kind of sucky that you have to spend one of these things in order to even get him. But I feel like there's a lot of that in the Canadian trees. Like, they don't have a whole lot on their own, but they kind of make up for it in all the skills they take later, which is kind of sucky overall that you even have to go there. So we have a 25% total bonus here. We're getting 15% bonus from free trade, 10% bonus from construction. Shouldn't we also be getting a bonus from how? That's interesting. I don't know why. Maybe because... No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know why this isn't more than that. Maybe it has to go a month or something. Let's speed up and check again in September. Alright, let's see if it's faster now. Nope, still at 25%. Huh. Civilian factory construction speed plus 10%. Maybe because it's specific to one thing, it's not globally construction speed. So construction cost is 10,800. Maybe it's changing the construction cost directly. I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. Oh, it looks like Spain started their civil war too. Unfortunately, I am unable to send volunteers, first of all, because they're not in my ally at this point, but also because I can't send volunteers until there's 50% world tension, which is up here, and we're at 5.9% right now, which is not much. So we're back here, and we're going to do patrician. I think that's what it's... Patriation? I don't know. And that'll let us become our own free country. Right now, we are a vassal state of the United Kingdom. So that skill will let us go and venture off on our own. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Let's click that. And I want to slow this down. What do we want to select? I think I'm going to go with the artillery, and with this one we're going to go with infantry. There we go. And we got another 150. So at this point, what do we want to take? Military theorist is really good. He's not helping us so much. I'm going to take industrial research time bonus, because that'll help us get those construction speed bonuses even faster. And we're almost to the new year, which is great. Like I said, not much happens in this game early on. Let's see how Spain is doing. So the darker brown is fascist. The tan is, I think, communist. So for a democratic nation, it's really a lose-lose. We're going to leave this slot open, actually. But we do need to go and upgrade our tank production so that we're getting the newer tanks instead of the older ones. And the reason we're leaving this empty is because you can hold up to a month's worth of research in each particular research slot. So I'm going to go ahead and take it, because once we get to the new year, we can pile that on and take a 1937 tech, which is going to be construction time. So that helps that a lot. So we are now seeking independence. We're going to say they can tough it out alone. And we're going to join the Swastika Club right away. What that's going to do is it's going to give us support for fascism in the country so that we can become fascist. Because if you look now, we are mostly democratic and non-aligned, and then there's this little sliver here that's communist. So we have no fascism support in this country at all, and becoming part of the Swastika Club will help that. So anyway, that's Hearts of Iron 4. Please like and subscribe below if you enjoyed this episode and want to see more just like it. I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.